Welcome back, fam. I'm sure y'all had y'all a nice Valentine's Day. Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and try to get on to it, and hopefully this will be a little bit better, a little different. Tonight's topic is gates. Some of y'all gates been stimulated yesterday, wasn't it? Oh man, don't be nasty, man. My bad. I got a little carried away. But all jokes aside, your gates, think of them as your senses. That's what I think they are, your senses. Now, there's a scripture that kind of led me on to this. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the things not seen. Hallelujah. My bad, y'all. Got carried away again. So we know that the faith is of the spiritual realm, right? But your senses or sight is, in other words, just change or, put in place of sight is your senses, because the sight is of this natural physical realm. Faith is of the spiritual realm. So if you talked about your love languages during this Valentine's Day, if you notice something about your love languages, they all of them will stimulate your senses in some sort of way, right? Well, all of your love languages are forms of communication. And communication is how seeds are planted. You receive the seed through communication, and it's planted. Some things are subconscious. Love languages are usually very intent, right? But I'm talking to him. I'm here to not really talk about the love languages for Valentine's Day. I'm really here to talk about your gates. Now, the reason why you need to protect your gates is because some of your gates are mostly involuntary, like sight, sound, and smell. I mean, because you got to breathe to live, right? So, and some people might be like, well, how in the world does smell? Well, you ever notice how? Well, you ever walk by a bakery? Now you already ate, right? That fresh bread, it'll draw you on it, make you want to go do some damage, which leads you to gluttony, which is considered one of the 7 deadly sins. You see how that thing just went involuntarily? You weren't even trying to, you were just breathing, right? Sights, television, they know how to back in the day in film, they used to use and put subliminal messages into the film to get you to want to go buy some popcorn or a soft drink. Now, you didn't know you saw it, but some things, once you see it, you can't even erase it. Some of those things are bad images, right? They can entice you or turn you on or arouse you, and then, all these things, and you weren't trying to do anything about that. You weren't thinking about that, but it happened. Some sounds can get through. I told you in the last video, music. Well, messages can be sent through music. And I told you that music is one of the very few weapons that the enemy can use, that no matter what you do, it bypasses your filters or your guards, which means the best way to avoid the sound, or the best way to guard your gate via sound, is to simply get away from it altogether. If you know it's going to be on a record, don't listen to the record at all. If you know it's going to be at a seminar, they're going to be talking about crazy stuff, don't listen to it. If you're a part of a conversation that you know you're going to end up thinking differently about a person based on what's being said around you and you have no control over it, get away and don't even pay attention to it, or you're going to end up seeing somebody in a different way involuntarily because that seed was planted because you didn't guard your gate. So my message today is about guarding your gates. We have to try abstinence in a lot of areas of our lives, which is the main number one effective way to guard your gates. But it has to be a conscious effort. You have to purposefully do this. I remember back a long time ago when I was younger, it works, and I know it does. I was very strict on myself about lust, but nobody told me about how strict I was. It was going too far, and I know, so I purposely just simply didn't look at anybody. I lowered my eyes and I didn't look at women. I knew they were there, and I purposely did, almost like back in the day when I was told about black people having to lower their eyes when they get around white people. But I did this based on me trying to control my urges, hormones kicking in. I'm trying to fight this thing. It works. After a while, I've noticed that I wasn't going through the arousal throughout the day. You easily arouse when you're a young boy by sights, things you can't get to. But if I didn't see it, it really didn't hit me as hard. You know what I'm saying? So we need to guard our gates, protect our gates. That way, whatever seeds that we allow that way we control whatever seeds that are planted into us. And that means we'll be filled with more of the seeds that we know of and aware of that we can use. And when you go out in the world, it's kind of hard for seeds to grow in the atmosphere that wasn't set for it. The only thing that can come out of you is what went in you. And the only way to control what goes in you is to protect your gates. So, no challenge today. This is just a quick message that I wanted to say about protecting your gates. It helps protect you and the people around you and the things that you do. Thank you for listening. Peace be unto you. Be blessed. Don't be nasty, man. Don't be nasty, man. Faith. Faith. Man, it's hot in the bottom up in here. Oh, Jesus. Good God. I can never get this right. No, you're right, man. That's all I'm gonna do though. So. What in the world flying around?